I'm the mouse in your wall, and I know the sound of love going thin. Not breaking, not all at once, just thinning out, night after night, like an old t-shirt washed too many times. Still there, still shaped like something familiar, but softer in the wrong places, easier to tear. I live behind the kitchen wall, near the vent that never stops rattling in winter. I know your house better than you think. I know which floorboard sighs outside the bathroom. I know the cabinet under the sink smells like lemon cleaner and old pipes. I know the space above the dining room light where the warmth gathers after midnight. And I know your marriage by sound. That is how I know it is fading, not because of the shouting. People always think the end of love is loud. Sometimes it is. Sometimes there are slammed doors, sharp words, plates set down too hard, a name said like an accusation instead of a prayer. But that is not the part that scares me. The part that scares me is how quiet it gets after. The way two people can move around the same kitchen and sound like strangers in a waiting room. I heard you in the early years too. That is the sad thing. I have the whole story. I heard the beginning. The beginning was full of soft noises. Bare feet crossing the floor late at night. The fridge opening. A sleepy laugh. One of you saying, "Want anything?" And the other saying, "Just you," in that half-joking voice humans use when they mean something too true. I heard music playing from a phone on the counter while pasta boiled. I heard dancing that was more bumping into each other than dancing. I heard kisses in the hallway. Little ones, quick ones, the kind people do when they assume there will be thousands more. Back then, this house sounded occupied in a different way, not just full, chosen. That is a beautiful sound, by the way, a chosen life. Humans do not realize how rare it is. A lot of homes are full of things. Furniture, laundry, grocery bags, passwords on sticky notes, school pictures, bills, mugs with chips in the rim, half-dead plants people keep meaning to save. But not every home is full of choosing. Yours used to be. Now I hear the distance. It started small. That is how these things always start. Not with betrayal. Not even with cruelty most of the time. It starts with tiredness. One of you coming home too late too often. The other one saying, "It's fine," when it isn't. Microwave beeps instead of dinner together. The television on during meals. Phones in bed. Questions asked without waiting for the answer. Did you pay that bill? Can you grab the dog food? What time is your thing tomorrow? Are you getting in the shower? A marriage can survive a lot of things. Stress, kids, money problems, job loss, sick parents, grief, even disappointment if people are honest enough. But it struggles to survive life lived only at the surface. That is what I hear now. A surface marriage, not mean, not dramatic, just careful, efficient, tidy around the wound. You still say, "Thanks." You still text, "Need anything from the store?" You still remember birthdays and dentist appointments and whose turn it is to call the plumber. From the outside, I suppose that looks solid. From inside the walls, it sounds lonely. There is a sound two people make when they still love each other, but no longer know how to reach each other. It is hard to describe. It sounds like one person loading the dishwasher while the other stands at the sink, both facing forward, neither turning around. It sounds like, "I'm tired," meaning, "I can't do this conversation tonight." It sounds like maybe this weekend, meaning, "I know I am disappointing you, and I hate that I do not have more to give." It sounds like one person laughing in the living room while the other stays in bed, just a little longer, not asleep, just elsewhere. It sounds like politeness where warmth used to be. And yes, sometimes it sounds like nothing at all. That is the part I notice most, the missing sounds. No more talking through bathroom doors. No more, "Come look at this." No more absent-minded touch as one of you passes behind the other in the kitchen. No more private little language. Humans think love disappears in the arguments. Sometimes it disappears in the silence between ordinary things. I do not mean that you stopped caring. That would almost be simpler. No, caring is still here. I can hear it dragging itself around the house, in slippers. It is in the way you still fold each other's laundry, even when you are hurt. It is in the way one of you leaves the porch light on when the other is late. It is in the extra blanket set at the foot of the bed when the weather turns cold. It is in the way you both still remember how the other takes coffee. That is what makes it sadder. This is not a house without love. This is a house where love got buried under logistics. Under resentment no one felt noble enough to confess. Under years of being needed in every direction except the one that mattered most. Under the exhausting American religion of productivity, where everyone is busy and no one is brave enough to ask what all that busyness is costing them. I have heard both of you cry in separate rooms. That is how I know neither of you is the villain of this story. One of you cries quietly, in the shower sometimes, once in the laundry room, sitting on the clothes dryer, as if even grief had to fit between chores. The other cries less often but heavier, like someone unfamiliar with the shape of their own sadness. Like someone who kept trying to outrun it and got tired. I heard one of you say on the phone, "We're okay, just stressed." Humans say that when the truth feels too large to hold in their mouths, just stressed. That phrase has hidden so many funerals, not of bodies, of closeness, of ease, of the version of two people who once believed they would always be able to find each other in the dark. What fades in a marriage is not always love. Sometimes it is safety. Sometimes it is curiosity. Sometimes it is the feeling of being gently witnessed. That might be the one people miss most. To be witnessed, not managed, not updated, not coordinated with, not lived beside. Witnessed. To have someone notice that your voice is off by half an inch. To have someone say, "You've been quiet all week. What's happening in there?" To be looked at like a whole person again, not just a role with errands attached. I think that is why people grow lonely even before they are alone. Because the deepest loneliness is not having no one near you. It is being next to someone who used to know your soul and now only knows your schedule. Still, I am only a mouse, small heart, fat, simple needs, a crumb, a corner, a safe place when the house groans at night, and yet even I know this much. Love does not always die because people stop loving. Sometimes it dies from neglect so ordinary no one notices it happening. A conversation postponed too many times. A hurt swallowed for the sake of peace. Too many evenings ended with, "We'll talk tomorrow." Too many tomorrows arriving already tired. I do not know if yours will survive. I am not wise enough for that. Some nights I hear the old tenderness trying to come back. It appears in tiny ways. A hand lingering on a shoulder. Someone asking more softly than usual, "You okay?" A real answer almost forming. A pause that feels like a bridge instead of a wall. Once, not long ago, I heard something I had not heard in months. Laughter. Not polite laughter, not television laughter. Real laughter. Sudden and helpless. The kind that makes a person lean on the counter to catch their breath. It was brief, but it was real. For a second, the house sounded chosen again. That is the hard part about fading things. They do not vanish cleanly. They flicker. They remind you what is still possible. They make hope feel both cruel and necessary. Maybe that is marriage in the middle years. Not a grand romance, not a disaster. Just two tired people standing in the wreckage of what life asked from them, trying to decide whether to leave or rebuild or simply tell the truth for once. If I had a human voice, I would not tell you to stay. I would not tell you to go either. I would only tell you this. The opposite of love is not hate. It is living so far from your own heart that the person beside you cannot find it anymore. I'm the mouse in your wall, and I hear your marriage fading, but sometimes very late, when the dishes are done and the screens go dark, and one of you finally says, "The thing you were trying not to say, I hear something else too." Not the end. Just the sound of two people being honest enough to be lonely together. And that, sometimes, is where love begins breathing again.